Hi everyone, welcome on our spring webinar. Even though we can't really see it outside the window yet in Poland, where at least I'm based, spring is just around the corner, so this is the perfect opportunity to spring clean your productivity system and review your quarterly goals. And so this will be the topic for today. My name is Natalia and I will be the panelist for today's webinar. And just like all of our webinars, this one will take about an hour and a half, and it will be divided into two parts. So the first part will be Michael's presentation, which will take about an hour, and he will be sharing with you his best tips to make sure that you spring clean your goals and clean up your favorite productivity system. And the second part will be a standard Q&A session where Michael and I will be chatting and answering the questions sent over from you during the webinar. And you can already submit your questions in the Q&A box that you can see at the top of your screens. And next to the Q&A box, there's also the chat box, where you can chat or ask questions to other attendees of the webinar, as well as the panelists of the webinar. And that's myself, Marcin, Kuba, and Ola, whom you cannot see, but they are here with us, helping us out. So, okay, before we begin, let's hear from you guys, and let's just check if everything is working properly and if the chat is working. So if you could just head to the chat window for me, please, and tell us where you're joining us from today. So let's just wait for everyone to join in and to have a chance to, okay, so here we go. We've got people from Nebraska, Salt Lake City, Russia, Chicago, Netherlands, I saw somewhere, Las Vegas, New York again, I can't keep up. Hungary, Philadelphia, London, Germany, Switzerland, Ukraine, San Diego, Delhi, Venice, Alicante, Denmark, India, Italy, Colorado, Paris, Mexico, Czech Republic. Oh my God, there are people from all over the world. This is amazing. Canada, Chicago, Florida, Algeria, Alabama. Wow, we really have people from all over the world, which is awesome. Spain, Texas again, Seattle. Great. So, okay. Welcome. We really appreciate you being here with us today. And we're going to see Michael in just a second. So let me just remind you that you can enter your questions during the webinar in the Q&A box at the top of your screens. And please remember to use the Q&A box instead of the chat box for questions, so that we can filter them afterwards and make sure to answer as many of them as we can. All right, guys, so let's officially begin Michael's webinar. Hi, Michael.
Hello there. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited because the first quarter of the year is almost done, and I think it's a good idea to step back and get ready for the rest of the year. And I will talk about it a lot today. And I'm so happy that people from all over the world have joined us to participate in this webinar. This is really, it's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be really jam-packed with information. So I will be talking for an hour, and it's going to be a lot. So make sure to stay with me. And if you have questions, let us know in the questions, because there's going to be lots. So I'm really excited. I can't wait, and I'm really happy that so many people joined, because we're almost there with Easter and everything. So perfect time right now to be doing this.
Yeah, okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to switch off my camera, and let's officially begin, and see you at the Q&A session.
All right. So I just had some tea now, and I'm ready. All right. So thanks everyone for joining from all over the world. This is really so humbling and so amazing. Thanks for all your support. All right. Today I got lots of things to share, and lots of things that are pretty new or pretty recent that we've been testing and we've been, experimenting, both in my company, both personally, and also lots of input from our users, from you guys. So, it all comes, together. So before I start, let me introduce myself again. My name is Michael Slewinski. I'm the CEO and founder of Nozbe. Nozbe, this is the Nozbe logo. This is the old logo. This is the new one. I'm still nostalgic and keeping the old logo in my home office. And on the screen, you can see my team. We are actually more now. So we just hired a few new people. We're 26 now with 12 people, with 12 like regular contractors we work with, especially translators, because Nozbe is available in 10 languages. Actually 11 if you count both Chinese, traditional and simplified. We're available in 10 languages, and that's why I think there's so many of you on the other end. As you know, in our company, this is my home office. Nobody comes here, where our official office is, nobody goes there too, because everybody works from home in our company. And that's why twice a year, we meet on Nozbe reunion. And this is from the photo from the recent one in Wrocław. And we are having a new one in April. So we already can't wait to meet each other in real life and in real circumstances in a little over a month now. So that's us, that's our team, and we share our experiences as a remote company on our blog, and also I share it on my blog, and hopefully more companies will follow us and follow our lead of trying to enable people to work from anywhere. Because I think you can find, you can see from our team, you can find the perfect talent like in any place. So why limit yourself to to radius of 10 kilometers or 10 miles? All right. And we've been in this business for 11 years. So we are in this for the long haul. We just, on the 1st of February, we just celebrated our 11th anniversary, 11th birthday of Nozbe. I launched Nozbe in 2007, in February 2007. And we just also crossed a threshold of 500,000 registered users, which is pretty okay. This is not the main metric that we use. We prefer to see how many active users we have, how many paying customers we have. But 500,000 registered users, I think it's not bad for our company. And it's our company is completely self-funded. It's we have no VC and no external financing. Our users, our customers are our investors, which is great because then I think our goals are aligned. All right. And for you to achieve your goals, we offer apps for all the major platforms, also for the Apple Watch, but also, of course, for the iPhone, iPad, Android, and Mac, Windows, and, of course, for the web. And I'll be talking a little bit about Android version also today, but that will come a little bit later. And also, apart from doing webinars and working on Nozbe a lot and sometimes blogging, I'm also podcasting with my colleague from work, Radek. We're recording a podcast in English, the podcast.fm, where we just discuss the books we read, things we want to share, thoughts we want to share, and just productivity tips and tricks. So we've already recorded 130 something episodes. So we are pretty good at it and pretty consistent with that. Like every week there is a new episode of the podcast. So make sure to subscribe and let us know what you think. All right. And now we are finishing as a team my new book, 10 Steps to Ultimate Productivity. This is how it's going to look like, more or less, the cover. This is the Polish version. And now we're finishing the English version, which is not a direct translation of the book. It's more of a work together with a great book launch team. We've been, writing the book together with lots of input from our users and from our team and from our readers. So each chapter is rewritten. There are new ideas, also, better examples, real life examples. Like, it's a very cool book. It's been a fun to write because I just liked to the way we do software, the way we do Nozbe is we improve Nozbe thanks to your feedback, thanks to feedback from our users and our customers. And the same happened to this book. I had this idea for this book. I had my 10 steps course, which I already published on the internet as a video course. And based on that, I had this idea for the book. And then with our users, with our customers, we managed to make it even better together based on feedback. So it was really lots of fun to write. Now we're on the last stretch to publish the book. So make sure to keep your fingers crossed, and make sure to follow us on social media and sign up for Nozbe or for our newsletter to be notified when the book shows up. The book's website is productivitycourse.com. All right. So just to remind you that there is a Q&A segment at the end of this webinar. So make sure to prepare your questions, post them on Q&A right now. We have Jacob, Ola, Martin, and Natalia backstage answering your questions and lining up questions, queuing up questions for me to reply at the end of this webinar. I love the Q&A segment. I love to get more personal and then really, give you the best answer I can give you. So make sure to prepare your questions for the end. I would love that a lot. Okay, so in one tweet, what are we going to talk about today? So, webinar by Nozbe. Time to start spring cleaning of your productivity system and review the first quarter of 2018. Getting close to achieving goals with Nozbe and myself. Hashtag Nozbe 2018. So the idea here with this webinar is to help you review your first quarter of this year, to make sure that the next quarter will and the rest of the year will be your best year ever. So this is the idea, like to make 2018 succeed for you. So that's why this idea of spring cleaning and of reviewing past quarter, and it's perfect timing because it's the end of March. So it might not be spring, in the southern hemisphere, but still, it's the first quarter of the year anyway. So I think it's a great time to do some cleanup and to do some reviewing, and this is what I will talk to you about. And here's another tweet that I have ready for you. So, but I will actually, I will move this tweet a little bit. I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake and put the tweet too early here in the presentation. That's correct. So I will move this a little bit in the presentation. So there's some backstage action for you. And it's gonna go here. Perfect. And then we don't need that. We don't need that anymore. So there you go. So we are back at our tweet and we're back with the presentation. So some backstage, you can see we can live, edit the keynote live and make sure that it's perfect. So before I start with the review, let me ask you or tell you to about our Facebook group. So we have started a Facebook group in January. We have already more than 500 people there. Just go nozbe.com/community and you will be redirected to this group. So nozbe.com/community. Ultimate Productivity by Nozbe. This is how you can find the group. So just put Nozbe or Ultimate Productivity and you'll find the group. It's a very cool group. Lots of people there, lots of action, lots of challenges, lots of helping each other. I'm doing also Facebook Lives there. So it's really, really a cool community that we're building there. And thanks everyone who's there. Let us know in the comments here that you're there. If you want to join like-minded people who are struggling or helping each other get stuff done and achieve their goals, this is a perfect place to go. All right, so let's start the webinar. A checklist for the most productive spring cleaning. All right, the first thing to do is to stop to think. And this is something that I'm really passionate about because very often we forget to just stop. We just are going so fast. We are getting stuff done. We are just so swamped with work, with obligations, with all these things that we just forget that we have to stop. We have to stop for a second and think about what we should be actually doing. So this stop to think is the key here. This is why, for example, it's hard for us to stop every week for the weekly review, which is key to any productivity system, as you know. But we will get to weekly review a little later, but this is really important. So stop to think. And second, see what happened. So again, we are going to review our last quarter to see what actually happened, what actually occurred. And based on that, decide what to do later. So see what happened, see how close you are to your goals. And this is, again, we have set some goals in January, and we had even a webinar about it, about New Year's resolutions, about setting goals, about creating new habits. We had, if you've been there, so we had that. But right now, after a quarter, we might have gone, we might have been derailed. We might have gone off track. So we need to see how close we are to our goals. How are we aligned still with our goals? Are these goals still relevant? Something we set out to do in January might not be relevant in the end of March. So this is the moment to check it out. And then sweat over the hard questions. So I got a few hard questions for you to answer today. There's going to be really hard questions, but very important questions, because without answering them honestly, you cannot move forward in the most proactive way. And set goals for next quarter. So this is another thing very, very, very important to really, based on the goals from January, set the goals or realign the goals for next quarter. And then schedule a cleanup, which is something additionally I would recommend to clean something up. Apart from cleaning up your productivity system, which we'll talk about on this webinar, but also do a cleanup of something else. Of what? Well, I'll let you know at the end of this webinar. All right, so to help you with that, we have prepared, I have prepared a quarterly offsite template at nozbe.how. So we have this nozbe.how system where you can create templates in Nozbe. As you know, every project in Nozbe can be saved as a template. And then this template can be published as a Nozbe.how template for everyone to use. And this is one I did for quarterly offsite. I've been doing quarterly offsites, so quarterly reviews, for the last 2 years. So I know they work. And in my company, I started promoting them last year, that other people should do them, and with good success. Now in my team, people are doing quarterly offsites, quarterly reviews as well, and this has been very, very good for us, and very, very very useful for everyone, for both person who's doing it and for example for their bosses to actually know if we are really aligned here and see how we can be more aligned. So very, very cool. So if you want to follow along this webinar, make sure to get this this slide. This template. This template is available at nozbe.com/now, and we have more templates for you there. 4 templates actually. The template for the quarterly offsite, the template of a weekly review, also by yours truly, and how to conduct your personal annual review by two people from our team, by Magda and by Raju. So make sure to get these templates. Just click on them. You can then later import them to Nozbe, or you can share them with anyone else. And these people don't have to use Nozbe. I mean, you can use these templates without Nozbe. So really, really easy. The Nozbe.how system is so easy to use. You can use it yourself, but of course, the best benefit you get if you import it to Nozbe and then tweak it for yourself for the future use. Because, as you know, productivity system is very personal. So it's really important to tweak the system to your liking. Okay, so let's start with our S's. So with our steps towards the spring cleaning. It's all with S right now. If you think about it, like the 6 S's here, and then the quarterly offsite. All right. So schedule a day, and maybe Friday. So the thing is that in Nozbe we have TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. So on Friday in Nozbe, in our company, it's a day designed by the employee, not by the employer, or not by the bosses, or not by the tasks. So the idea of Friday is to do weekly review, which is obligatory for everyone on the team. And then you can pursue your own passions. So, or learn something that will help you in the long term. The idea is try to avoid like the day-to-day work, but focus on the big picture, on your skills, on something you want to learn, like on the development. So that's why for us, it's very logical to schedule a Friday also for the quarterly review. So to have like a Friday just for that, right? Instead of just doing a weekly review, you would do a whole quarterly review. But your mileage may vary, but I really encourage you to dedicate a whole day for this. Like quarterly review, as you will learn on this webinar, it's a big thing, but it's an important thing. I mean, come on, if you think about it, it's just one day out of the whole quarter, but this is the moment where you stop to think and when you prepare and plan. So make sure to have a day for this quarterly review. Also, this quarterly review was inspired by Mr. Greg McKeown from, the author of Essentialism. I have the book here. Yes. So this is the author of Essentialism, a very, very cool book by Greg McKeown. And in one of the interviews he gave, I think interview that he gave to Michael Hyatt, he talked about quarterly review. And it's very important, very, very cool. As you can see, I really like this book. Lots of places that I refer to. Anyway, so once you have the day ready for a quarterly review, it's time to start big and review your goals. So to see like, what did I actually plan, 3 months ago? And here you can see some of my goals. For example, here one of my goals is to learn French. Another one is to lose a little bit more weight because I want to be back in shape. After Christmas, I was a little bit chubby, so I decided to introduce a slow carb diet again to my diet, and it's working. I'm slimmer now. I'm still not at the level that I want to be, but I'm getting there. Here, one of my beatnik. This is my goal to beat my friend, who is fantastic, a fantastic triathlete, and I'm an amateur triathlete myself. And for me, beating him on a triathlon would be a dream come true. On the other hand, we like to compete together, and we like to train together, so it's gonna be fun. And then read 25 books. I'm trying to read 25 books a year, usually audiobooks. And I just put all the ideas for the books there. And there are less than 25 tasks there because some of the books I've already, of course, read. And here, let go. So things I want to let go of as the CEO. I want to make sure that I can contribute the best I can. So I'm trying to let go of some of the duties that I used to take on. And there's like the shared marketing goal for Nozbe marketing. Like what can we do to improve our communication? What we can do to improve these webinars? What we can do to improve the way we help you get stuff done, and we share, the good message of Nozbe. So things like that. So start with reviewing your goals. And in my case, I do them as projects in Nozbe. I have each goal is a different project in Nozbe. We talked about it in the last webinar, and they all have label called goals. So after that, after I'm reviewing my goals, and another step that I'm doing is to think and write where do I see myself in a year and in 5 years, which is very tricky if you think about it, because Nozbe is only 11 years young. So 5 years, that's a lot. It's like, 50% more of time in Nozbe. It's hard to say based on how technology is developing, that we have right now, the iPhones, the Apple Watches, all these new gadgets and things. I'm iPad only, I'm using only iPad to work and these kind of things. So it's hard to say what happens in 5 years. But what I can say for granted, more or less for granted, is where my family is going to be in 5 years, because I have 3 daughters. So I know that, one of them will be 14, another one will be 11, and another one will be 6. So I can see where they will be in, actually 7. So I can see where they will be in 5 years. And based on that, I can see myself where I'll be as their father. So based on that, we can, extrapolate what we want to have achieved until then, or as a family. And then I can try to push it also a little bit more to see where I can get my business in 5 years. So I think it's still a good exercise. It's a guessing game, of course. It's a wild guess, but I think again, if you know where you're going, then you will choose the right path. So this is what I do. I have this exercise of where I'm going to be in 1 year and in 5 years. So these 2 things, and then after that, it's time to see what really happened and to review the calendar of the last 3 months, so of the last quarter. And I'm going through the calendar, every week by week, to see what I was doing, who I was meeting, where I was traveling, what happened. And then also, because I do journaling every day, I review my journal. And this is actually the only time I review my journal. I review my journal every quarter, and then I don't review it anymore. Because when I write in my journal, I write it for myself. Like I just write my thoughts, and then I review them every quarter, and that's it. Like this is why I need the journal for. So every quarter, this is what I'm doing. I'm reviewing both calendar and journal. This way I can see better, what actually happened, where my thoughts were, where my emotions were, what occurred in the last 3 months. And then knowing what happened, and then knowing where your emotions were, and then knowing your goals, reviewing your goals, you can actually, think, how close are you to achieving your goals? How close are you to getting them done? And if you're aligned with them, if they're still relevant. And this is the moment where you have to think about it, when you have to see if you don't have to correct some things, improve some goals, or change them, or rename them, or rephrase them, or the motivation behind them. So this is the moment of realigning the past with the goals, and for the future to be better. And to help you with that, as I mentioned, we have some hard questions to answer. So let's go through these questions one by one. First, what do I have to improve? And this is a question that I am this kind of person. I like improving things. I like making things better. Like if you've known me by now, in these webinars or online, you know that I keep on improving myself. I keep on improving my company. I keep on improving the way we're doing things in the company and anywhere else. So, and this is a question I'm always asking myself: what can I do to improve? And a powerful hint here is to also take blame for things that actually were not your fault entirely. So, for example, something happened in the company, like somebody did it, but I'll take the blame. But when I take the blame, this way I create ownership for that. And when I create ownership for that, I can think, okay, how can I improve it for the future? So it's really, really useful and really powerful, really, to take the blame, take ownership of this, and then think about ways to improve it, to improve the thing, so that it doesn't occur anymore. Or when it does, you're ready for it. Second, what do I need to learn? I'm a constant learner. On StrengthsFinder test, learner is one of my 5 key features. So I'm always thinking what I need to learn more. Not just learning French, as you have seen in my goals, but also what I need to learn as the CEO, as a marketer, as a father. What I need to learn. This is really a key question to just motivate yourself to keep developing yourself. But then we have some harder questions to ask. What should I do more of? So based on what I was doing, like for example, I wasn't doing enough of this. So maybe I should be doing more of that. For example, I have to be doing more of writing, or I have to be doing more, Facebook Lives, as we started doing right now at Nozbe. Or I need to be doing more, Instagram shares or Instagram stories or something like that. So anyway, what I have to do more of. And it's an important question, because then you can redirect your energy, what you should do more. But then knowing what you have to do more, you have to think about something else. What I should do less of. Because like in life, like you cannot just do more and more and more and more. Like if you're doing more, you have to do less of something else. And this is really tough, because you have to just admit to yourself, okay, I'm going to be doing less of this stuff now. Or I'm going to delegate this. I'm going to be, doing less of this, because I want to focus on more of that to, achieve my goal. So this is, again, a very important question. And then comes the bomb, the last question, which is really hard. What should I drop entirely? So what should I let go of? Because it's really hard, and it's really hard of letting things go, because you sometimes think maybe I should just be doing that, still get some time for that only. But sometimes you just have to be able to be open to more ideas and new goals and new heights. You have to just drop something that you used to be doing, that used to work for you, but it's not relevant anymore. To give you an example, we used to be doing Productive Magazine. We published it from 2008 2016, so 8 years publishing a magazine, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I loved doing interviews. I did interview at last one with Greg McKeown, so the author of Essentialism. I mean, just think about it. I could talk to the author of Essentialism. So cool. And I talked to so many cool people, to Seth Godin, to other people, like amazing things. And it was great. But we decided, that we spent so much energy on Proactive Magazine, we have to, try new things. And this is when we dropped the Proactive Magazine, we started doing webinars like this one. And we love them. And I think you love them too, hopefully. So we started redirecting our energy to do other things, but had to drop. And it was hard. It was hard, believe me, to not be doing the Proactive Magazine anymore. But it was the right thing to do. And yeah, but this is, these things are tough. All right. So we are basically halfway through the webinar. We have asked some tough questions, some tough, things to think about. So let's have a short break, short sponsor break, because I got good news for you, and this is the fact that Nozbe 3.7 is coming this week. So finally, 3.7 is out, and it has there's a list of features. We've been working so much on this version of Nozbe. It's got lots of cool stuff in, but I want to share today four major features. The first one is the Android update. So Nozbe for Android, and I'm an Apple fan, and I have iPhone, iOS, iPad. But there are lots of great Android users of Nozbe, and we hired a very talented engineer to work on this stuff, and we got new widgets, new way of adding tasks to Nozbe, really cool stuff on the Android platform. So make sure to check it out. The 3.7 on Android is going to be really, really cool for you. So that's one thing. Second thing, we have a badge now. So we can have a badge on an icon, and you can have a different badge. I mean, you can have tasks in priority, tasks in inbox, tasks for today or for today and overdue, or maybe new comments or new mentions. So whatever you want, you can customize this, and then it will have a badge in your on your Nozbe. It's both on iOS it's actually iOS, Mac, and Windows. So it's really, really, really cool and really nice. I love having this badge because recently I've been really trying to limit my priorities, to just focus on a few priorities and just get them done by the end of the day. So for me, the shrinking list of priorities is very, very important, and it's very motivating. And mentions. So if you are sharing projects with people, and as you know, in Nozbe, sharing projects is very easy. You just create a project and you tap to the info of project, share with anyone with an email address, or maybe if you have a Nozbe team, anyone on your team. And then when you share projects with them, and when you have tasks for them, and you want to mention them in a comment. So for example, there's a task for you, but you still need feedback from somebody. You can mention them in this task. And what happens is they get a push notification, and you get an autocomplete. So if I want to mention, for example, here, Tomasz, I just do @T, and then I can just enter and then continue. And then Tomasz will get a mention. He will get a push notification. And also what he will get in Nozbe 3.7 is in the comments section. So the new comment section here, the tasks you were mentioned in are at the top of all the comments. So you will be able to see the tasks. I mean, because most likely, if somebody mentioned you in a comment to a task, they need your feedback. So it's good that we, keep it, at the top. This way, people can really, you can really, first deal with the most important comments. So with the ones that you were mentioned in, and then later go through other unread comments that you have in Nozbe. And as you can see from the screenshot, there is something odd about it. It's because Nozbe is black now, because we have the new night mode, and it's really nice. So there is like night mode, dark mode, and it's really cool. You can toggle it here in settings. I love it, especially on my new iPhone X. It looks very good. But also on, again, speaking of Android, lots of Android phones have OLED displays. So Nozbe over there will just shine, will just look beautifully. So make sure to check it out. Also, I think the dark mode is a little less stressful on the eyes. So again, something really, really cool. So this is, Nozbe 3.7. As you can see, I'm really excited about it because we've been working a lot on this version, and it's my baby. Nozbe. So, and it's for you. Like all these new features are for you to be more productive, to get more stuff done and to make it just easier, lighter, and better for you to work. And of course, as you remember, we have new plans for Nozbe now. We have the solo plan for one person, duo for 2 people, and then we have small business plans for 4, 6, or 8 people, and business plans. And recently, we've been quite successful at converting people who used to be on a solo and duo plans to encourage them to use Nozbe in a team. So in a small team or in a bigger team. And especially in the bigger teams, like the business plans, they can be from 10 to unlimited. So 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100, and then unlimited plan. And it's a really new thing because we really offer a great support. We help you also with video chat to make sure that you can that you can really help people start using Nozbe in your team. So. And we are launching very soon, not yet there, a Nozbe.com/business website. It's going to launch in April, where we'll be showing you different videos of companies from completely different industries using Nozbe in a different way. It's so much fun to see people and companies and teams from many industries applying Nozbe to their needs. Nozbe is so flexible that they can do that. And to encourage you to try it out, there is a special offer now. So we offer 3 months free if you extend or upgrade your Nozbe account for a year. So if you do it for a yearly plan, it's already a discounted plan. And on top of that, we give you 3 more months. So it's a special offer. It's a great offer. And it's available only now, only this week. So make sure to check it out. Just to encourage spring cleaning and encourage, setting things up correctly. And go to nozbe.com/now. And you will find more about it. And then you will be able to upgrade or extend your Nozbe plan and get your 3 months free. All right, so that's it for now. And let's get back to our review, our quarterly review, and our spring cleaning. Again, what we discussed, you have to stop to think, to be able to really, for the things to sink in, to see what happened, right? And then see how close you are to your goals. And then sweat over the hard questions. And now, to set goals for next quarter. And right now, I'll be giving you lots of tips and tricks how to set goals and projects for next quarter, how to set up your system for next quarter to be functioning better. And I got lots of good tips for you, which we just started implementing also ourselves, and we got them also from lots of our users. And then I'll talk about cleaning up, adding additional cleanup on top of all that. Okay, so let's start with setting goals and projects for next quarter. So first of all, I would really encourage you to use labels. So in a project, for example, here I have a beatnik. It belongs to my goals label. In Nozbe, we believe a list of projects should be flat. Many people have been asking us for this, and we have always resisted having a project, sub-projects, sub-projects to have a hierarchy, which will be just too complicated to use on a daily basis. We think flat structure is good because you can see everything, but then again, you can filter it out with labels. That's why I encourage you to use labels in your projects. So, for example, in my case, all my projects have labels. And the idea is to just go to over there of the information panel of the project, and then change labels, and then add your labels, and that's it. Every project can have a few labels. So, for example, what you can also be doing is, for example, having a label just important, and then a few projects that are really important will have that label. It's really works very well. And so that's really key. And now, in my case, you can see I have the CEO label, so things related to me running the company, goals for my goals, marketing for the marketing activities that we do, private for all my private stuff. So all my private projects have private label. This way I can filter out my private stuff, for example, on the weekend very easily without worrying about the work stuff. Product is all about Nozbe, all about developing Nozbe, the code, the back end, front end, the whole thing. And webinar, it's a label that I just did today for testing, so it's not related right now. Okay, so labels is one thing. Second, use colors and emoji. So people have been also asking us, I would like to make Nozbe more personal, maybe add some icons to projects or images, things like that. But now, as emoji are so or emoji, they are so popular right now. You can use emoji for like in project names. So, for example, you can here learn French, and you can see a French flag. And here Bitnik and triathlon, you can see 3 components of a triathlon: swimming, biking, and running. So with emoji, this way you can really see the projects better. You just we are very good at recognizing images, objects. So with emoji, you can really find the projects easier on your list. And also the colors. You can see all my projects related to goals are yellow, and I use, for example, blue colors for my marketing projects. I use different colors, and it's also very useful because this way you can also find these projects very easily on your project list. Okay, next step. You are not alone. I mean, really, you're not. So make sure that you can find somebody to support you, because achieving goals is hard and getting goals done is hard. So if you can find somebody to support you, it's really important that you do. So here in my case, as you can see, I've also given this example last time we did the webinar, is that I'm preparing for a triathlon. I have my triathlon in a month. And for that, I need to train and I need to be running constantly. And I couldn't motivate myself to do it. So that's why I not only use a Nozbe How template for the whole training, but I also invited to this project Martin, who's here. He's our local triathlete. He's amazing, and he is my support system. So whenever I'm doing a run, I'm reporting back to him how it went. He's giving me his feedback, his encouragement, or he's asking me to step up or to change some things. So it's really easy for me to be held accountable for my training and to be more motivated to actually train. And especially now that I have it really in just a month. So I really want to perform. And I don't think I'm going to beat my friend Nick, because he's training a lot and he's very strong. But maybe a little bit, we'll see. Or at least I will be very close to him, at the finish line. We'll see about that. Anyway, I'm doing triathlons just for fun. I'm an amateur triathlete. I'm doing it just for fun, just to be in shape. That's all I do. And I just like all these 3 sports. But also, apart from having your own goal and having a support person invited as a project, shared project in Nozbe, what you can do is you can create a shared goal in Nozbe. So what you do is you invite, you create a project, you describe it, and then you invite people to this project. And when you do, you create a task list, and everybody gets their cut. And as you can see here, this was our goal for the new Nozbe website, which we already launched. And we had here, everybody is responsible for a different thing. And you can see it just so clearly. And this way, we're all held accountable. We can see that we are getting, together to a goal. So we're trying to achieve it together, which is really, really useful and really cool. So Tomasz is responsible for technology, Radek for design, everybody is responsible for something. So, and we can see it clearly, we can report back to each other, we can give each other feedback. So having a project, a goal project shared, and having this a common goal is, I think, another step in productivity, because really you can do so much more with other people. And this is what we do in Nozbe all the time. And hopefully you'll try that too. And also, cheat in a way. So use Nozbe.how templates, the 4 templates that we're giving you as you go to nozbe.com/now. So use these templates for your own good. So for quarterly offsites and for weekly reviews. And also think about your own projects. Think, how can you actually make it more, automated? So for example, if you're a freelancer, maybe onboarding of each client or getting new client has all the same tasks all the time. You have to ask them for some data, you have to prepare some things, or ask them several questions, and do some stuff pre-work before you start working with them. And so maybe you should create a template for that. So based on your projects, but this is why this quarterly offset is so important, because then based on your projects, you can just see, okay, are any of these projects really, can they be automated? Can they be saved for later, to be used later? Because here, as you can see, I have packing lists, things, quarterly offsites, like setting up Mac, setting up iPad. I have lots of these templates, but also things that I'm doing regularly, like for example, the weekly review. or packing for a triathlon. I have the whole packing list for that. So think about it. Think how you can make your projects more, convert them into templates, to use them in the future, like to be faster, to be more productive, to not to think about, each time you plan a trip, it would be ridiculous to start making a packing list again and again. Like have one, modify it, use it, have, repeat, and, and again and again. And the same way for many things in your professional and personal life. Like what can be improved, what can be changed into a template. And if you create a nice template and you think it can be useful to anyone else, you can make it a public template. So convert it, get a special unique address, nozbe.how / the unique address, and share it with the world. Share it on social media, send it to your friends, to your family. Like make sure to share the knowledge, because this is what it's all about, we do these webinars for you to share the knowledge, and we create templates for you, and our users create templates. So like together we are sharing knowledge and not reinventing the wheel every now and then, because it's not practical to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so after you've dealt with all your projects, you've changed them, modified them, added labels, some of them you saved as templates, great. Now it's time to look at the future. So to see what's next, your next 3 months in the calendar, to see what's coming at you. So what kind of things you have, and maybe some of these commitments can be undone because maybe you don't want to do them anymore, and maybe some can be rescheduled, or maybe you need to schedule more commitments. So, for example, in my case, I last year we went with Radek, with my co-host and our iOS guy in Nozbe, to WWDC conference, Apple's in San Jose in California, and it was great. It was a great trip. It was a great conference, and we learned so much. And this year we decided to go again, and I already booked a hotel with free cancellation option, but still I booked it. And then we were preparing the trip, but then during preparation we decided, this year actually is not a good year for us to go there, and we should focus on developing Nozbe more to give you another great features for Nozbe, and to create like new groundwork for the future of Nozbe, which is what we're working on right now. And maybe we should go there in a year, so next year. And so I canceled my hotel, and we decided, let's not go there. So something that I was already, I had it on my calendar already, and I was, almost certain to go. We decided, it's not worth it this year. Let's, review it, and let's go next year. So that's what we did. So I encourage you to do that, to look at your calendar for the next 3 months and see what can be changed, what can be modified, and what's coming at you anyway, and what did you commit to. And see if it's aligned with your goals and with everything that you're doing. And after you've done that, you're pretty much done with your quarterly review. So you've seen what's in the past, you've reviewed your projects and your goals, and you have reviewed the future. So now it's time to schedule a cleanup. So now to clean up some stuff, like for example, my desk here, as you can see, it's pretty messy right now. I don't like it that way. I want to remove this monitor. I'm using it right now for the presentation, but apart from that, I'm not using it every day. So I don't want to have it anymore on my desk, and I have to do some other cleaning. And the corkboard also is a mess right now. So I want to do some cleaning here in my home office. So I encourage you to do this as well, because the idea of productivity is to remove the barriers of entry and to remove friction. And very often, like a messy desk can be a friction to productivity, can be a problem, an obstacle to make you productive. Also, like for example, you have a drawer, something with lots of stuff and lots of things inside, and you might want to just clean it up. And once you do it, it's going to be just easier for you in the future. So make sure to check it out to see what you can clean, what you can, what you can get rid of or simplify. And I'm actually planning to rearrange a little bit this home office as well, just to just change things a little bit. So that's it. So my extra tips for you, again, in this last part of the quarterly review, is to organize projects with labels, emoji, colors, the way you want them to do. Also update your goals, make sure they're aligned with what you want to do and what you decided in January. Also find someone to support you, as I mentioned, to help you get stuff done, to be aligned with your goals. Also, plan with your team. And the last one, do weekly review regularly. So again, these last two, I skipped them too fast. So first, plan with your team. So think how you can align goals with people you're working on. And second, weekly review. We are doing this as a policy in Nozbe every Friday. Everyone has to do a weekly review, and people are doing it. And I think we should really encourage ourselves to do weekly review, because it's just 2 hours. It's just, again, stop to think. It's 2 hours to stop to think, but it makes your next week better. It just makes you more productive. Like the gains of productivity you have by reviewing your goals, reviewing your projects, reviewing your system every week, it's amazing. And also when you're doing a quarterly review, like the one I'm encouraging you to do now, it's so much easier if you've been doing weekly review regularly, because then you can go through your goals easier, then you can review your calendar easier, and you have more time to actually, review your journal, review your calendar for the quarter, for the next one. So you have more time to really get stuff done. So really, weekly review is paramount. Okay, so let's review the 6 S's of spring cleaning and of quarterly review. Stop to think, see what happened, see how close you are to your goals, sweat over the hard questions, set goals for next quarter, and schedule a cleanup. So make sure that that you follow these 6 steps, and you can tweet it. The tweet is there in the comments, and make sure to tweet it. But that's it. Follow this recipe, and it's going to be great. And really, don't worry to just stop for a day each quarter to review what happened and plan what's going to happen. This is so important. We are I can't highlight this enough. We don't appreciate how much time we need to think. And one of the richest person in the world, the investor Warren Buffett, he's basically just sitting and thinking, and then he's just investing wisely. So anyway, he's a good role model for that. So anyway, imagine that after a quarterly offsite and spring cleaning, you know what to focus on. You don't have to think about it much. You just know, I have to work on this stuff. This is right now the key. So by doing this review, you have more, you're more clearly seeing what's ahead of you. So this is really, really important. And then if you're doing something in your team has less stress. It's less stressful, less stressed, thanks to shared goals and regular reviews. So again, I see that in my team. Every Friday we do a weekly review this way. On Monday, people are working very well because they know what they will have to do on a Monday. So it's really, really important. It's really, really good. It really moves us forward. So again, to wrap it up, we have all the templates for you at nozbe.com/now, and also there you can take advantage of our offer to get 3 months free of Nozbe. This is very rarely we do such a promo with so many months free. So if you extend or upgrade for a year, you not only get the discounted price, but you also get on top of that 3 months free. So make sure to check it out, and you get some bonuses as well. And just to tell you that, to remind you that let's do it together. That we have so many fantastic Nozbe users. So many people are getting stuff done with Nozbe and are getting the goals done, are following the recipes, the templates for the weekly review and for the quarterly offsite. And I'm just humbled that we've crossed the threshold of 500,000 users, and then we keep on growing and we keep on just getting better. And now with Nozbe 3.7, it's the best Nozbe yet, and we're already working on Nozbe 3.8 with some cool major features as well. So make sure to follow us and to see what's coming. And again, I want to encourage you right now, when you have this special offer of three more months, to actually try a plan that suits you at solo or duo, or maybe suits your team at small business or business. Make sure to see what fits and maybe to try to organize next quarter together with your team and with your businesses. We have businesses from all over the world, lawyers, public administration, teachers, production, like manufacturing, lots of cool industries, catering, restaurants, bars, using Nozbe, amazing customers. And as you know, you're always covered by our productivity guarantee. So if you take advantage of this offer, get 3 months, and you still don't like Nozbe for some reason, we just, we've been doing this for the last 11 years, and we want to do it for more than 11 years more. So in our case, we want to be aligned. So if somebody doesn't like Nozbe, it's a personal preference. It's fine. We prefer to have happy and productive customers who love Nozbe. So and we have many of them already. So and as I mentioned, we are a privately held company, and then our customers are our investors. So this is humbling, and this is really good, and this is really healthy, because again, our goals are aligned as well. We want to give you the best Nozbe ever, and to make you more productive at what you're doing, and you want to be able to have the best tool for your productivity. All right, so exactly, almost 1 hour and so let's start, I think, with the Q&A. And remember to get all the bonuses, so all the templates and the special offer, 3 months free. Go to nozbe.com/now and check it out. So check out the templates, check out the offer, and if you have questions, let me know now, and let's push the Q&A segment, and we'll go there.
Hi, okay, I'm back. So let's move on to the Q&A session. And the first question is from Humberto, and he asks, when does the promotion end?
It's just for this week. So like you have this week to decide, basically.
Exactly. So
we are announcing it to everyone else tomorrow with an email, but this week, I mean, but being on a webinar, you get to know it first. So you have you have the head start. So yeah, tomorrow we'll announce it to everyone else on Nozbe, but and all the Nozbe users. But today, for the webinar attendees, you get the scoop first.
Exactly. So make sure to get it and to get all the bonuses from nozbe.com/now. And another question from Vivian. Hi, newbie question. If I use Nozbe with a partner, can we keep some projects private?
Yeah, I mean, this is, the idea of Nozbe, of shared Nozbe accounts, like that you have for 2 people or 4 people, 6 people, is that, you have one person paying for it, and then you have, it's easier for you to share projects together. But each project, if you create a new project, is private first. So it's by default private. So when you create a new project, by default it's private. And when you share it with somebody, then it becomes a shared project. So this way, for example, if you buy a duo plan for 2 people, all of you, both of you will set this up. One of you will pay for it, right? And then the other one, you can, you set up the account for you first. You go to me and my team in Nozbe, and then you add the person, and they will confirm it. And then you create your projects, and they create their projects. And then when you want to share something, you have to explicitly share it. So by default, it's all yours. This is your system. It's all private. Only when you start sharing the project, it becomes shared. So your other person, your other half, or your partner, or whoever you want to share the Nozbe account, they will have their Nozbe account. You will have yours Nozbe account, and the projects you will have for private projects, they will have their private, and only the shared ones will be shared. But again, it's explicit. You have to invite them to a project. By default, they won't have access to it.
So you don't need to worry that somebody's going to access your project, because that's not going to happen unless you do it yourself. So
unless you do it willingly, then there is nothing is in danger. So that's why because Nozbe was born like that. Like Nozbe was initially just a personal tool, and we added sharing project feature later, and also the whole team section. And with the team section, what we get is apart from shared billing, also like it's easier to share projects because you have them in your team, so it's really easy. But you have to first share the projects to share them. Really.
Exactly. And here I have another interesting question about sharing projects from Mark. Mark asks, can I share a project with another Nozbe user outside of my company?
Of course, yes. You can share a project with anyone who has an email address. You just add them, in the shared if you go to the information on panel, and then sharing, and then you add their email address, and they will accept it, and they will go there, and they will be able to access the project. You can also remove their access also here. So the idea is that anyone can be sharing project with you, even if they don't have an Nozbe account. You can share one project with them, and they will be able to access with a unique link in a browser. So even then, they can share a project with you, which is very useful, because the idea is that you want to have your tasks, in your system, and you want to let others in, but on your terms, right? And that's why it's very useful. But of course, if you want to share them with just people from different, different Nozbe users, not a problem. I mean, actually, for this project that we are working on right now and finishing the 10 Steps to Ultimate Productivity book, with the book launch team, with a few of them, we created a project together, and they are not on our Nozbe team, but we invited them in, and this way we work together with a few people. We share projects as well that we work regularly with. So, for example, very very often we communicate with Jeff Sanders. So I want to say hi to Jeff here. Jeff Sanders is an amazing podcaster, and he just had a very good podcast episode about spring cleaning as well, thanks to our inspiration. And we also share a project with him. So if we need to exchange some information or whatever, we just do it through a project. It's just easy.
With many of our ambassadors.
Exactly. With many of our ambassadors, we connect just through Nozbe, because we have a Nozbe account, they have a Nozbe account, so we can share a project together. And this way, we don't have to send emails to each other. We can just delegate tasks to each other with some comments. And this way, it's already in our system. We bypass the whole email thingy to convert whatever. It goes exactly from system to system. So it's very effective for both parties. With one of our ambassadors, I remember we had some issues with something, and some particular issues for his account. So we decided, let's share a project together and exchange information there. No problem, and then we close the project. So it's really easy, and that's the power of Nozbe. You can share projects with anyone, and that's why I think we are not doing a good job marketing this, Natalia. To people that it's just so easy to share projects together and to collaborate through tasks, to communicate. We call it to communicate through tasks, because it's the best way. There is a task that needs to be done. It's clear this has to be done. And then in comments, you can, get clearer what needs to be done. And you can delegate it to somebody, and they get the task, they get the comment. They're like, okay, I'm going to do it. They'll do it. They reply to you, or they just make it a done. So no sending emails, calling people up or whatever. In Nozbe, we try to, limit the administration of stuff, so that you don't have to manage tasks. That's why I don't like the fact that people refer to Nozbe as task manager or project manager. I prefer to call Nozbe, which is not really grammatical, but task doer, or project doer or doner. The things are done. This is what I like about Nozbe, and this is what our focus is. Our focus is on done.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's worth mentioning. Like you said, we don't talk about it enough. But I guess that's why we do webinars, to show people how they can work, how we work, and how they can do it too, and that it's really easy and just more effective than doing emails and calling people and not remembering what you were talking about. Whereas in Nozbe, you have it all written down in one place, so everyone can read all the information that's important and relevant to their work or whatever. And that's why we do the webinars and want to share all of this with you guys. All right, so let's move on to another question. And okay, let's get back to the templates that we are sharing.
Yep.
Laura is asking how to download the templates. She's a Nozbe user already.
Okay, so all you have to do is just click on the template link. It will open in a new browser window, and from there you just click to import the template to your Nozbe account. Right?
Yeah, exactly, and it will be imported as a project, not as a template.
So exactly. So this will create a project from this template directly in your Nozbe account. And from there, what you can do is get it done. So do it right then. So for example, do the offsite. Or if you want to save it for later in your templates, you have to save it to your templates. right? So we can, for example, get back to it. I would encourage you, of course, to use my weekly review template. I'm using it every week. So just, I'm really using it every week. This particular template, like this one. And so what you do is you open the template in a browser window, you click to import it to your Nozbe account. It might ask you for your credentials or might not, because it depends if you're logged in also in the same browser to Nozbe. It might just create the project right away in your Nozbe account. And then if you're there, save it as a template in your own templates. So, and for example, modify it, change it. Like if you don't like some of the things that I wrote there, change it to your liking, like feel free. This is for free. I'm giving you this template for free. So just use it the way you want, save it as your template. And this way, next weekly review, so next week, you'll be able to use it. And then the following week as well. So you will be able to create a new project for next weekly review just from this template.
That's right. And you can also tweak it and modify it every time you use it. Like if you have a project in your project lists from this template, you can edit it and add some more tasks or delete ones. And then in the info bar, you can update the template, or you can edit it directly in the templates tab in Nozbe. So there are two ways of doing that. So that's also handy.
So, for example, we have I have a packing checklist. So a packing template for whenever I travel, and after each travel, I open the template and I actually edit it, modify it. I see that for example, I haven't been needing this for quite a while. I don't need that anymore, or I need to remember about that or the other thing, and just so these templates. The cool thing about them is you keep tweaking them, you keep improving them. And when you do, so next time you use them, they're just better for you. They serve you better, and you have a blueprint, for what you need to do. So for me, for example, for packing, like as I mentioned, for my triathlon, if you forget one thing, you forget socks, for example, for running, it might really destroy your race, because then you will have blisters and stuff. So you don't want that. So you really have to make sure that you bring everything that you need for the triathlon. So for all these three sports. And the same when you travel, you don't want to be standing at the airport and thinking, did I pack this or did I not? No, you want to have a template where you just go through it, you make sure you have everything you need, and then you're just happy traveling and enjoying traveling. So and the same with a weekly review or quarterly review. You want to make sure that you use template and you don't forget about stuff. You don't forget about to review your calendar or to review your journal. Like it sounds trivial, but it's not. Like we tend to forget these things. With, as I mentioned, the podcast. We have the podcast, and with Radek, before every podcast we have a checklist of what we have to do, and I keep forgetting. Really, Natalia, this is ridiculous. I keep forgetting, for example, to put do not disturb on my iPhone. And it's so important, because just think about it. We are recording. We are in this moment. We are talking, having a great conversation. We're recording a podcast, and then my phone rings. I'm like, come on, right? So this is really important. So that's why a checklist or a good template is so important, because then you don't have to think about it. And this is, as we discussed it many times over, the key to productivity. You don't have to be thinking about unnecessary stuff. You have to be thinking, you have to be using your thoughts, your mind, your creative energy for the creative stuff where you actually bring value. And you shouldn't be thinking of, should I put, I'm going to record a podcast, and instead of thinking what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to be thinking about putting my iPhone in do not disturb and not forgetting about that.
Yeah. And also having templates is good for creating habits. So you, for example, have a checklist or have a template for something, and you do it over and over again, and it just pops into your head, and suddenly you realize that you don't need the template anymore, or you don't need this checklist anymore, because you do it automatically. So it's also a good way to learn new things and to create good habits and to become more productive automatically without even thinking about it.
Yeah, remember, in my last webinar, what I mentioned here was the fact that to create for example, morning routine, for me it was just a task that was recurring every day, and with a checklist, with a comment as a checklist, and I would go through the checklist every day. And after 2-3 months, I didn't need the checklist anymore. I would just do the whole thing, without thinking too much about it.
Exactly. So we encourage you to check out our Nozbe website, where we post templates created by our users, by us, and also go to the nozbe.com /now for the templates that we mentioned here during the webinar. And now let's move on to another question from Anush. The priority list becomes very daunting pretty quickly when you have many projects. Do you have any suggestions on how to manage the list?
Yeah. First of all, do a good weekly review. So really, then you go through all your projects and you really think if there are things that you should be working on there, or like what are your next actions in these projects, and also then think when you want to do them. So one of the tricks that I do is I put a date, because when I put a date, then it becomes my priority on that date. So what happens is, for example, that if I have a marketing thing that I want to do, but I know that on Monday and Tuesday I already have lots of stuff on my plate, I'll put it for a Wednesday, right? So this way I don't have to mark a star now, so that it doesn't show on my priority list now, and it doesn't, clutter it. This thing is not there. It will become my priority on a Wednesday, right? So up until Wednesday, it's not there. And I don't have to think about it, because I'm confident that Nozbe will just do it for me, right? So this is what I do. I make sure that, I plan things for certain days, but not, I'm going to do this marketing thing between 11 and 12 or whatever. I'm not that. But just, that I'm going to do it on a Tuesday or on Wednesday or a Thursday, right? So this way, I remove stuff from my priority and move it for a different day. The same goes on a day-to-day basis. For example, just today, before this webinar, I was reviewing my priority list. And as you could see from the screenshots, I was doing them today. So I had 15 items on my priority list. I don't have 15 items anymore, because I knew that, I'm not going to be able to do them today. So some of the items I've moved to tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. I just, put the date there and remove them from priority out. This way my priority list got smaller. So that's so the playing with dates, I would suggest that as the first thing. Second thing, also use categories. So for example, I use categories like to have more importance. So for example, I have a category called frog. It's from this book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. And by frog, he means your most important task for the day, which you're afraid of, which looks ugly, but you have to do it. Like, your most important, I wouldn't go that far to make it ugly or whatever. Just your most important task for the day. So I, for example, out of 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 even priority tasks, I choose 3 most important ones for the day. And I mark them with category frog. And this way, what I do is I filter my priority list by this category, frog, and then I see only these 3 tasks. And I focus on getting them done. And even then, and when the list is in that mode, if Natalia decides to delegate a task to me because she wants something from me, I won't see it. Like, I will have a push notification, but I won't see it on my priority list until I, remove the filter. So I can really focus on having a narrow, short list of tasks. Get first this done, and when I do, I remove the filter, and then I see all my priority list, and then they can continue with other priority tasks. So basically this, plus reordering, of course. And I reorder the priority task list a lot during the day, just to make sure that, I have them aligned. I'm going to do this. Just before this webinar, I was aligning, stuff, what to do, what not to forget, to be able to really be prepared for this webinar and also for this promo, for the special offer, because we're announcing it, as we mentioned, tomorrow to everyone. So I wanted to make sure that we're ready. So I put first the most important task for then, and then the webinar, and then, the rest is there as a someday maybe, as a maybe thing for today. If not, I'll just remove them to different days.
Yeah, that's what I do every morning. Like, before I start working properly, I always reorder my priority list tasks, just to because it's, for me, it makes it less chaotic and just more organized if I just spend 5 minutes, because it doesn't take much longer than that. It's only
Yes.
5 minutes to like reorganize a few tasks, maybe just reorder one or two, because I know that I have a meeting in 2 hours. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna get done like 3 or 4 tasks before the meeting, and then the rest goes afterwards. And this just makes me like so much happier and so much calmer, just to know that I have everything under control. So that's also a good thing to do. And yeah, and I think filtering and sorting your priority list is a good way to make it like more organized and more easy to read.
Yeah, definitely. It's just easier.
All right, so now let's move on to a question from Xaba. How can I measure my progress in Nozbe? Say I have a fitness project. How can I track what I already achieved versus what is ahead?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends what you want to track actually. So, for example, if you have a fitness project, in my case, like I have this fitness project with Marcin, where I track my training. Well, for me, what's important is that I have completed tasks, so I know which runs I have completed, which ones I didn't. What you can do also is you can add categories as well to see which hard trainings are in front of you, and how many hard ones you've done or how many soft ones you've done. Or you can, for example, see by you can use time needed feature, so to just estimate some time, and then you can just track this. It's hard to say. I don't know. I would have to know exactly the example that you're referring to, but I mean, the idea is that that in Nozbe, like pretty simple. There is a task list. You want to get this task list done, and so this way, my training program is a task list. I have a training for 12 weeks. I want to complete the training, so I'm seeing my progress. With each task, getting away. So so I think this is like the key for me.
Yeah, if you can if you want to like check it daily, then you can just see at the bottom of the task list there is the number, like how many
Yeah.
tasks have been done out of
Mm-hmm.
how many you had on the list. And also you could go to the completed click the completed button and just see how many tasks are already done, and that's another way to see.
Yeah.
All right. Another question is from Irf. I'm a solo coach and consultant. Will Nozbe work for me? So we've talked a lot about like communicating through tasks and sharing projects and using Nozbe in a team. But what would you say to Irf? Like, is it worth giving Nozbe a try if you just work alone?
Of course. I mean, Nozbe was born like as a solo, thing. It was for me to get my stuff done. I was a freelancer back then, and I built Nozbe for myself. So it's got the origins for that, and it's got features for that. So and it syncs with other devices. So that's for you, it's perfect. But then again, you might find yourself that you would need to share a project every now and then with somebody. Even if they don't have an Nozbe account. So this way, it will be just easier for you. But like just for your own usage, because of Nozbe's features, like it's perfect. Like for somebody like to you can import emails, everything. There's a share sheet for Android and for iOS. Like there are so many things that you can do with Nozbe just for yourself, just being on your own. So and for me, the fact that for me this is really important. Like in 2018. Seriously, 2018, you should already have your systems in place, not only Nozbe, but anything that you use, that it syncs with all your devices. You shouldn't be like using a thumb drive, to just copy things from computer to another computer or something like that. You no, don't. So for example, in my case, like I use Dropbox, I use iCloud, so to have my files and my documents all in sync. Like this presentation, it's been done on the in the Keynote application. It syncs with iCloud, and I can edit this presentation also on my iPhone if I want to, or I can access it from my iPhone if I want to. Or I can, if I go tomorrow like speaking engagement, I can use this presentation and just present it through a dongle to the on the projector. No problem. So I have access to this from any device, and that's why Nozbe is so important. That that you have access to all of your tasks, all of your systems. The whole projects. Priority. You have it on you at any time, and even on the Apple Watch. Like even here, you have the list of your priority list there. So it's really important. Like and for me, like this warrants like a Nozbe subscription, that you know that it's all synced and also all backed up, because we use triple backup technology to make sure that everything that you're doing is backed up, and we have data centers all over the world. So even if, God forbid, our main Nozbe server would just explode, we would just set up Nozbe somewhere else with the data right before the explosion. So like we won't lose anything really, and we can do it in 15 minutes, and you wouldn't even notice. Like you would just notice that for some time Nozbe is not syncing, and then it just syncs again, and it works fine, and that's it. So these kind of things we do to make sure that you can use Nozbe as your trusted productivity system. That that you can trust Nozbe, and that you can trust that your tasks, your projects, your files that you put there, attachments, comments, that it's all there, and it's all there. Now we have we recently introduced the searching also in completed tasks. So if you have a completed task from way back when, but exactly the keywords to search for it, you'll find it. And it saved our I say ourselves some trouble like many times already, like to find an old task with some important information that we cannot find anywhere else. So I think for anyone just working along, the Nozbe is already useful. But I'm telling you, from my personal experience, like sharing stuff with people, it's really useful. Even on the personal level, like for example, with my wife, we have a shopping project, so we put our shopping list there, and the shared projects. Or with my wife, for example, we're just planning an important family event. So for my wife, it was just obvious that she will create a project for it, and she will. So exactly, this is a good story. So what happened was that we found our last. So we're organizing a party, a family party, back in my hometown. So what we did is we first went to our completed projects and found old completed party project that we did way back when. Then what we did, we restored it and we set it as a template. And then we started to modify the template. And from this template, we created this new one for this new event. And now we have already a template for family, party event with all the information from there. So as you can see, we had to dig deeper into a project that we've done in the past, make it a template, create new projects from that, and now we have a template for the future. So if we want to organize more family parties, no problem. We have a whole recipe for that.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to add. That if because in the question, like Ir said, he was a coach and consultant.
Oh yeah.
So it's the perfect way, like to share knowledge with your clients through templates, because you can send them the link to the template, like what they can do, or and they can just use Nozbe without even like registering and signing up for it. They don't have to have an account.
I'm just think about it. You don't have to create like elaborate presentations or PDF documents. You create a template, a list of tasks, and you work with them and you create a list of tasks for them to do. You save it as a template and you send it to them, the template, and then they just use the template. You don't have to share a project with them. You can send them a template. Perfect. Antaya, very good example. Exactly. So this way, you're using Nozbe not only as your task management or project management system, you're using it as your creation tool for stuff for your coaching clients, or with some coaching clients, if you want to work like closely, you share a project with them, and again, they don't have to sign up for Nozbe. They can just use it in a web browser, just this one, link to this one particular project, or they can sign up for Nozbe and you even use a free version, at least for now, which is limited to only 5 projects, but they can start with a free version, and that's it, and then you work with them faster and easier than through email messaging, Facebook Messenger or whatever, you use with them this kind of system, and again, communicate through tasks, which makes more sense than just blah 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 through email and and messaging, which is not structured, which is you don't see the accountability, you don't see the progress. So again, you want to see the progress, perfect. Like if you share a project with somebody, with a client, and you get stuff done together, or you get stuff done for them, they see the progress, you see the progress, because it's all in the shared project. That's why, for a consultant, for a coach, like so many, as you mentioned, so many ways to use, apart from personally using it for your productivity system, but also as a template creator, sharing stuff with the closest client, and then maybe with all the clients. Like it's limitless. You don't have to invite, you don't have to buy a Nozbe business account for many people just because you have many clients. You're a small business, so buy the small business plan, or just solo plan or dual plan, depending how many people you have on your team, and then share projects with the people by just using their email address, and that's it. It's so easy with Nozbe. So we don't force you, to upsell to a bigger plan just because you have clients.
It's good to start small, and we always encourage you to try all the Nozbe features, and that's why we have the 30-day free trial. So you have a month worth of all the features and everything. You have it all for 30 days for free, and I think it's worth giving a try, because it takes time to learn a new tool or to learn a new skill, but it's so worth it. It pays off afterwards, because using email is simple. Everyone knows how to send an email, whereas it takes time to learn a new tool. But if you learn it, if you spend half an hour to watch a tutorial or something, you add a few tasks and projects, and you share one project, you suddenly see how powerful the tool might be, and how more effective you can become using it. So it's always good to test and to give yourselves a couple of days or a couple of weeks just to get to know Nozbe or any other tool, and to know and to get to know all its features.
I mean, this is what you're doing by spending time with us on this webinar. I mean, you're dedicating time to learn something new, and it's fantastic, and we really appreciate it. And now we've also created a new video tutorial for Nozbe, and it's 40 minutes long. I mean, the entire thing. But again, it's 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, you know so much about Nozbe that you're almost a Nozbe ninja by now, So it's again useful for everything. You buy a new, camera, or buy a new iPhone. You just spend some more time to study it, to learn it, and then it becomes just a more powerful tool because you know it better. So and the same goes with Nozbe. So yeah, we could completely encourage you to give it a try, and to test and to see the tutorial, and to test it with with yourself and then with your system. And now if you use our special offer, you still have 30 days to decide if it's for you. If you don't like it, if it doesn't fit if you ask questions at questions@nozbe.com to customer support, and they are not friendly enough, which I doubt, then I just ask for money back, and we'll give you money back. We only want the happy people and proactive people using Nozbe. So yeah, I mean, this is how we've been rolling for the last 11 years, and this is how we're planning to roll for the next years to come.
Exactly. So give it a go, test it for a few days, write to us at questions@nozbe.com. We're always eager to help you, and we want to hear your use cases, your problems, your suggestions, because we're doing it for you. So don't hesitate and contact us. And that's basically it. So that was the last question for tonight. So thank you, Michael, for sharing all your tips and tricks, and sharing your experience in weekly reviews and quarterly reviews. And thank you guys for joining us today, for being with us until the very end. And we hope that you feel a lot more motivated now to spring clean your productivity system. And we hope to see you at our next webinar. And Michael, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah. So First of all, I just saw this message that from Chris that he just upgraded until 2020 for his entire team.
Which is
Wow,
awesome. Yeah.
Chris, man, thank you, thank you. Fantastic. I mean, this always blows my mind when people when we have such offers, like people just extend until 2020. This is for me the best synergy. Like, we are in this for the long haul, and we know it. Like, it's just a perfect synergy. Like, we're not doing this to get rich quickly or whatever. Like, we are doing this. We've been doing this for the last 11 years, and we want to do it for many years to come. So again, this is why I say that our customers are our investors. They invest in us until 2020, and we invest in them by doing everything we can to help them, as you mentioned. So this is one thing. And so again, thanks, Chris. So humbled and so happy. And also, what I wanted to say is that, please, apart from testing Nozbe and getting our offer at nozbe.com/now, what I really encourage you to really take this step back, to give yourself a day to review your quarter and plan your next quarter, to give yourself 2 hours out of your busy week to review your week, to do a weekly review. Just follow the templates that we give you. Just follow them, and just give yourself this time. We find it so easy to say yes to meetings with strangers and to spend time by having coffee with somebody or whatever. Have coffee with yourself, but with yourself and your productivity system. Have a regular 2-hour coffee break every week for a weekly review, and have this one day free for your quarterly review. Even if your boss doesn't allow you to, take a day off and just do it. You will just be better yourself. You will be more calm, you will be more focused, and you will be more aligned with what you want to achieve. So really, I encourage you to do that, because we are not taking step back enough in our busy lives. And so this is really, really important. So hopefully I can leave you with that. And, hopefully you'll you'll tell us how it went. Let us know in the comments in our blog, or maybe in the comments in our group, in our Facebook group, or on our profile on our social media, or tweet us. Let us know how it went. I would love to know how your quarterly review went, and if you're still aligned with your goals, and hopefully with this piece of advice, we've made you more productive and more accomplished and then we contribute a little bit more to making this year your best year.
Exactly. So thank you once again, and we hope to see you at our next webinar, and have a great week and a very productive week. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Bye.